All right, so now we're going to use what we know about the angle relationships with parallel lines and transversals to find the missing angle measure. So in number 1, it says that we're given that line P is parallel to line Q. Okay, so line P is parallel to line Q. And that the measure of angle 1 is 68 degrees. So we can use our angle relationships to figure out the rest of these. So because angle 1 and angle 2 are on a straight line, that makes them supplementary. So remember, supplementary angles equal 180 degrees. So if we do 180 minus 68, we're going to get 112. So angle 2 is 112 degrees. Okay, so I also know that angle 1 is vertical to angle 4. So vertical angles are always congruent, meaning that they're equal. So angle 4 is going to be 68 degrees. And angle 2 and 3 are also vertical. So that means that angle 3 is going to be 112 degrees. Okay, so now we'll go to the other, so that was line P. When we go to line Q, the other parallel line here, we need to use what we just learned today. So if I start with angle 1, and I'm starting with measure of angle 1 because that was given to me, and if I made a mistake with angle 2, 3, or 4, then it will affect my answer. So I'm going to use the one that was already given to me. What relationship do we have with angle 1 and any of these other angles? So I'm going to use corresponding angles. Angle 1 is on the top left of these parallel lines, and top left of this parallel line here is angle 5. So that means that angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. What we know about corresponding angles is that they are equal. So angle 5 is going to be 68 degrees. So since I know that angle 5 is 68 degrees, I can use what I knew before. 5 and 6 are on the same straight line. So straight lines equal 180. When I subtract, angle 6 is going to be 112 degrees. Okay, and then angle 5 is vertical to angle 8. So therefore, they're going to be the same. They're congruent. So angle 8 is going to be 68 degrees. And then the last angle asked about here is angle 7. So again, we have another straight line here. So 180 minus the 68 gives me 112 degrees. Okay, so remember, a transversal is a line that intersects more than one line. So now I'm going to look at let's look at number 5. So we're given that line M is parallel to line N. But we have more than one line over here. Okay, so transversals, when we're talking transversals, there's 2 of them here. A transversal intersecting the parallel lines here, we have this line L, and then the other the other transversal intersecting those 2 lines is this line here, which was not given a name. So I know 2 of the angle measurements. I know that this one's 38 and that this one is 90. So I'm going to start over here with the 38. So vertical angles I always look for first. Vertical to 38 degrees is angle 8. So remember, vertical angles are equal to each other. So that means angle 8 is 38 degrees. All right, so then 38 and the 7 here, they create a straight line, meaning that they are supplementary. So when we do 180 minus the 38, supplementary angles add up to 180, minus 38, we get 142. Okay, so that means that angle 7 is 142 degrees. Also, 38 and 9, those are supplementary angles. They are on the same side of this straight line here. So angle 9 is also going to be 142 degrees. Also, angle 7 and angle 9 are vertical to each other, so we know that those should be equal. All right, so moving on up, we're going to focus on this transversal first. Okay. Actually, let's focus on this one first. So my green transversal first. So I know that this side here is 90 degrees. And it is on the top right. So top right here. That means angle 5 and 4 are going to be also 90 degrees. And so remember, what we know about 90-degree angles is if one side of a straight line is 90 degrees, the other side must also be 90 degrees. So we now know that angle 3 is 90 degrees. And I can go all the way around. So I know angle 1 and 2, when we add those together, it's going to be 90 degrees. And angle 6, because it's on the other side, is also 90 degrees. So we know angle 6 is 90 degrees. Okay. All right, now let's look at our other transversal. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my green lines here so that way they're not confusing anyone. I'm going to keep them for our 90 degrees though, so that way we can see those. Okay. All right, so if I look at my blue transversal line here with my line M, my parallel line, on the top right of it, we have angle 4. Top right here, we have 38 degrees. So remember, what's the angle relationship between those? So if they're on the same position on the parallel lines in relation to the transversal. So my transversal here, we have angle 4 top right with my parallel line, and we have 38 degrees top right with my parallel line. So remember, those are called corresponding angles. So angle 4 is 38 degrees because we know that corresponding angles have the same measurement. So angle 4 is 38 degrees. Okay, so since angle 4 is 38 degrees and we knew that these two here were complementary, we can subtract. So we're going to do 90 minus 38. And when we subtract 90 minus 38, we get 52. So I know angle 5 is 52 degrees. Okay. All right. So parallel line and our transversal, we're left with angle 1 and 2. So angle 1 and angle 4 are vertical angles that are across from each other, meaning that they're going to be the same degrees. So since angle 4 was 38 degrees, that means angle 1 is also 38 degrees. And last one we need to figure out is angle 2. So angle 1 was 38 degrees. Angle 1 and 2 are complementary angles, so we need to subtract. And that makes angle 2 52 degrees.